Kempire is brought to you by Happy 2025. It's a new year and it's a new era for the Kempire podcast. Make sure you subscribe today and make sure that you give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And shout out to those of you that have left glowing reviews and maybe not so glowing reviews. That's okay too. Thank you so much for the support and sharing our new podcast and everything that's to come. We don't just recap all the things that you've seen already on our YouTube channel. You also get special exclusive episodes and sometimes additional thoughts to the live recaps that we had on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe today and make sure you give us a 5-star review. Thank you in advance. You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe because it is a subscribers only live chat. Apologies for the delay, but as you saw, Bravo decided to release the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 trailer literally maybe like 20 minutes ago. And I had to watch it. I had to upload stuff. I had to get prepared. I had to set up a new background. But you will be patient. So thank you to everyone that has been patient, that has already liked the video. And shout out to the 2 suckers that are still watching but dislike the video. Thank you for the engagement. But thank you guys so much for the 112 of you that have already liked the video. Don't forget, today's a live recap of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion part 2. And also, we're going to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta a little bit as well. Sponsored by our friends over at Rose Forever. Roses that will last you at least a year. Yesterday, we gave away one special winner an opportunity to win one of these, and we probably will do it again. Not today. Maybe. We'll see. But roses that will last you at least a year. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Get something for yourself or someone you love today. More information will be available in the description. All right. And of course, we have a discount code for you, Kempire20 for $20 off of your order. Go check out their candles, their roses, and their flowers that they have available now on their website. Again, more information will be available in the description. All right, let me put these behind me, these gorgeous roses. Okay. Let's get down to the business, all right? All right, guys. All right, shout out to everyone in the live chat. We appreciate you guys. And of course, shout out to our replay crew. But before we get to anything, because literally last week we were in Washington, D.C. for our Kempire After Dark live experience, and we did our recap while I was in D.C. And you remember, for those that were a part of our Salt Lake City recap, I was sitting out the hotel room. Well, I was sitting at the window of the hotel room, and I was paying attention to all the planes and the helicopters that were flying by. Only for last night for us to hear the terrible news that a helicopter and an American Airlines flight crashed, and everyone that was on the plane has passed away. So we do want to send our condolences and prayers to everyone affected in Washington, D.C., the DMV, anyone that had a relative or is connected to anyone that lost their life over there. What we're not going to do here is to politicize the loss of life, because people that just lost someone don't want to hear about who you want to blame. Let's continue to send prayers and thoughts to everyone that is affected by that. And again, for me, literally, we're there. I was looking over the Potomac River and just, like, oh my God, it's so beautiful here. And then I was mentioning to you guys the planes and everything that I kept on seeing. So we're going to continue to pray for everyone affected, and shout out to Washington, D.C. Okay, before we get to our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap, let me take a sip. Sorry, had to. All right. So, Real Housewives of Atlanta. So yesterday we did 3 different live shows yesterday. And one of those live shows, we mentioned to you guys that the trailer for season 16 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta was going to drop today. I thought it would drop maybe like noon. It looked like there were some hiccups on whether or not something wasn't going to happen. A lot of sources that I saw making comments on social media, because people were a little worried that Bravo had dropped that little trailer to the trailer and then deleted it. So we were sort of like, is it not coming? Is it coming? And then it seemed as if, yes, it's going to come. And then it did. About 20, 30 minutes ago, Bravo dropped the trailer for season 16 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Did you guys watch it? How would you rate it? What did you think of it? Did you? Okay, so I took some notes. I did take some notes in regards to the trailer. And I have to preface this by saying it's a trailer. It's hard to decide what the season's going to look or feel like. Yes, Mama Allie, if we can get timestamps, that'd be great. I'm sure our replay crew would appreciate it. We can't base our opinions off a 3-minute trailer or 2.5-minute trailer. Okay. I will say, I already told you I wasn't excited about this new season, but I'm open to it because look, you can't have an opinion on something until you actually see it, right? The trailer for me was it didn't move me. It didn't get me excited. It didn't move my excitement, from where it was before to anything more. I was like, okay, we have finally been introduced to the official newbies. We see that Cynthia Bailey is back. We see that Portia Williams is back. We see what they're going to be talking about this season. So I did highlight some notes. This is why I'm late, y'all, because I'm taking notes. I'm preparing. I'm adding new effects. I'm adding all the different photos. Shout out to Essence Magazine. It looks like Bravo got our notes that if you're going to introduce and give exclusives to anyone, especially with a all-black cast, give it to a black media outlet. Bravo knew what they were doing because, you saw how Essence dragged Real Housewives of Potomac, remember? And well, Mia specifically. Essence Magazine got the exclusive for the Real Housewives of Atlanta's photos. Yes. Good. That's their core audience, black women. Okay? So they did get the exclusive photos. So let me just show you some of the photos. I'm shocked that I even know everyone's names. Portia looks amazing. Portia looks great. But Portia's always been beautiful, okay? She looks great. Based off the trailer, though, are you excited for her storyline? I feel like we already know what her storyline is. If anything, I have to give Drew credit. If you came to my Atlanta show, someone with some tea said that Drew is checking in. Not checking, clocking in. Drew is performing behind the scenes like a seasoned housewife. Based off the trailer, I was like, Drew, okay, Drew, come into your own. This is what, her 4th season, right? Or 3rd? No, it's like a 4th season. I will say this, based off of the pictures, we're definitely in a new era of Atlanta because it doesn't give classic Atlanta. And I get it. We got to evolve, but I don't feel like this is evolution. This feels like we're okay. But no, what Drew is definitely giving this outfit. If you see the full picture, you'll see that she's definitely giving Real Housewives of Atlanta in the outfit. Portia is giving the queen of Thoughtlandia / Atlanta. Okay. Shamia is definitely giving Thoughtlandia. I don't know what else she's giving. She's giving what people have said about her. She has no fashion. She has no taste. She needs a new stylist. I didn't love this look for her. I get it. Maybe they are trying to go for something different. Definitely there was a leopard theme with the women. Angela Oakley. Based off the trailer, I really couldn't decipher how I feel about Angela, which is fine. I want to get to know her on the show. Angela Oakley's here. Okay. I mean, the outfit's not giving, for me, personally, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay. Miss Parker says Shamia's given Decatur. You know what? Brittany Eating. Pretty. The outfit feels like it doesn't feel like it should be the open card for Real Housewives of Atlanta in their 16th season. It gives, this is our 1st season and we don't have a budget. It's not a bad dress. It just doesn't feel like, it should be the introductory picture for her. You know what I mean? Okay, so that was Brittany Eating. Kelly's definitely, her outfit definitely gives a little bit more classic Atlanta. Okay. What do you guys think? As you know, Phaedra came in the last couple of weeks of filming as she left Married to Medicine. I mean, this is Phaedra, okay? It definitely gives probably classic Real Housewives of Atlanta. Whether or not I like the dress is a whole other conversation. And Cynthia Bailey is a friend of the season. I don't love this outfit on Cynthia Bailey. She's a gorgeous woman. We've seen Cynthia Bailey for years, okay? This is not her best look, but she's a friend of the season. I'm not sure what they were trying to go with this whole sort of like I guess they're trying to go for edgier, especially when you look at a Shamia's photo. Trying to go a little edgier, right? But let's talk about the trailer a little bit. So, of course, they're going to open the trailer with Portia Williams. It's like, I'm back. Girl. Shamia, they show Shamia in her home. I didn't know Shamia had like a little bit, I don't know if that's considered an elevator or a tube. I don't know what it is, but it elevates her. So, it's elevator. So, she says that she's played the underdog because, she's played the friend of so many years on Real Housewives of Atlanta. But she says when she can play the best of them. Okay. At one particular point, we see Brittany Edie. Brittany Edie, you're not gonna. These folks are not gonna stay off your neck and calling you all kinds of things, putting your leg up in the car, and your husband's like, "Put your leg down." Drew and Dennis are working together. We talked about that yesterday. They're working together on music, but there is some sort of conversation. Is he sleeping with Drew? We have to remember Drew has not gotten a divorce yet, but it doesn't seem as if Drew and Ralph are together. Word on the street, Ralph is still in the basement. All right. So you may have also seen that Dennis was filming Confessional. So it seems as if Dennis will be an important, integral part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, probably playing the male figure that they wanted Simon Guobadia to play for Portia. So he's going to be a part of this. Again, not a selling factor. It feels as if we're watching the spinoff of Portia's Family of Lies infiltrate Real Housewives of Atlanta, but okay. Fine. So we see that. We do see Kenya. I will say this. No matter how you feel about Kenya, you like her, you love her, Team Toro, whatever. Seeing Kenya on my screen in these little moments where you hear Kenya beat Kenya, I was like, oh. And then I think to myself, damn, but Kenya's not going to be a part of the season that much. However, depending on how they chop and edit this, she might be a part of several episodes for all we know. She was a part of the first, 3 weeks of filming? And then there's the aftermath. And a lot of us speculated whether or not they were going to include what happened at the spa event, which they confirmed. And you saw in the trailer where Kenya shares a photo. We don't know what that photo was. Word on the street, the photo was Brittany Edie with something in her mouth. So they show all of that, and then they show everyone's reaction. So all of that's going to play out this season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Okay. But you also see Kenya in other moments during the season. Again, it's a trailer. We don't know where exactly they're going to put things. And please understand, they could also take things from the top of the season and put it towards the middle or the end. Which is so weird, but they could do that. Jesus says that she blocked her own bag. Yeah, you're right. We've talked about it endlessly at this particular point. It feels like we have been talking about the Kenya Moore spa incident for a year. And I'm not looking forward to talking about it again because it really, to me, is just like, damn, Kenya, why did you do this to yourself? But anyways, Angela Oakley and Shamia apparently get into it. And look, I'm glad someone said it. When Shamia said to Angela Oakley, you and your 99 nose, because, you remember, come on. Back in the day, there was, some of these folks that were getting nose jobs. Shout out to the Jacksons. They had like a particular looking kind of nose. Like they just did a little too much instead of making it look natural. They've gotten definitely better, but it's definitely a 90s nose. Okay. But Angela gets back at Shamia and she's like, oh, okay, Flavor Flav. Whoa. I mean, come on. So apparently it was hard to tell who's getting along with who based off this trailer. It seems as if everyone comes at each other at some particular point. But okay, we also see some Cynthia Bailey in the trailer as well. All right. We also learn a little bit more about Kelly. I'm actually interested to know a little bit more about Kelly because Kelly comes into the season, word on the street, going through her divorce. And people have speculated that she really does have an interesting storyline, especially what she's been going through. But to find out that her husband allegedly, I'm going to say because I don't know if it's fact, allegedly stole $500,000 from their account. Well, lock them up. But she's finalized her divorce. So we don't have to even worry or speculate, is this just for a story? No, she's finalized her divorce. She's divorced. That happened after filming, I believe. It happened recently. But I'm interested to know a little bit more about her. Kelly, for those, I know you guys have to get acquainted with everyone's names. Ateka says, I like Mrs. Oakley already. That's Angela Oakley here. Okay. And this is Brittany Eady. I mean, everyone's beautiful. Okay, based on the trailer, though, if I had to rate the trailer, though, overall, I'm probably going to give it a 5.5. And I think I'm actually being kind of generous with that. The trailer didn't trailer for me. It didn't get me excited. But we shall see. We shall see how the season plays out. Just because the trailer wasn't good doesn't mean that the season won't be good. All right. What else happened in this trailer? Oh, Portia. Portia and her mom are filming. Again, it feels like Portia's Family of Lies. We didn't ask for another season of that. So Portia and her mom are talking about the scamming, the that. Portia, I am not going to sit here and feel sorry for you. Because before you married that man, the streets had poured all of his life story on YouTube. Shout out to all the content creators that got all the tea on Simon's history and scamming, allegedly. So I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for you when all of this was laid in front of you and you still said, I'm going to marry him. Yeah. Just say, I'm not going to feel sorry for you, but okay. So that's going to be her storyline, is her divorce. But again, it's another scene or another storyline that I feel like we kind of are already familiar with. So to see it play out again on social media, which is probably going to encourage Simon Guobadia to react on social media. And I'm just like, oh God. Portia, we will never forgive you for giving us this damn man, Simon. We will never forgive you. And his ex-wife that we won't mention anymore because I'm tired of her too. Tired of him. Lord. Portia went to Nigeria though, so she's probably looking for a new man. A new benefactor. So she's talking about that and Portia and Shamia's relationships. So a lot of people kind of speculated because they noticed social media behavior and they were like, haven't really seen Shamia and Portia hanging out. But wasn't Portia just hanging out with Candy? Isn't Shamia a good friend of Candy's too? Lord, maybe this is just a storyline, hopefully. But I don't think it's just a storyline because honestly, I feel like Shamia and Portia have had issues before. We've seen that on Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I'm also not surprised because it's Portia. Portia's out for self. But they've been friends a very long time. Best friends, not just friends, best friends. And we don't talk often enough about how friendships can be tainted by reality television. But we shall see how this plays out between Shamia and Portia and if this will be final or if they will find their way back to each other as friends. But again, I'm surprised that they were still friends. And I think maybe the only reason that Shamia and Portia were able to maintain their friendship was because both were not on the same show anymore. But now they're on the same show and they are both housewives. Now Shamia is not the sidekick. You know that's going to play with Portia's head. So we shall see. I'm interested to see what Shamia is going to bring. And Shamia, the fact that they included you twerking in your confession, I was like, oh, that's the only thing about Shamia I used to hate. And she's a Taurus, which I hate that she is. It's like every second we would see Shamia twerking. And I was like, girl, we don't need to see all that twerking. You have to have more to you than just a twerk. Right? Anyways, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 trailer. Did you watch it? How would you rate it? Live chat. Let me know how you would rate it. Jesse says Portia's a Cancer. And we rest our case. And we rest our case. Shamia, don't trust her. Us Tauruses have learned not to trust the Cancers. Tyrese says, and Shamia has a real husband and a real Rolls Royce. I mean, technically, if we're going to be technical, I get what you're saying, Tyrese. Technically, Portia does have a real husband and Portia has a real Rolls Royce. Are those things disappearing now? Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. Look, the new season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, didn't I tell you if they're releasing the trailer today, then I'm thinking we're going to get a March release date? March 9th, the new season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta will be appearing on our screens. Will you be watching? Replay crew, be sure to let me know if you would be watching, or just first of all, let me know what you thought of the trailer, and what if you will be watching it on March 9th. What day of the week is March 9th? Is that a Sunday? Can someone confirm for me? Look, here come the cancers getting their feelings. Sorry, Emma. Emma says, not too much on us, Kev. Not too much. Usually, excuse me. Usually I like Cancer women, though. It's the men. I keep telling y'all it's the men. But then I look at Portia and I'm like, I'm like, But you know we love you guys, no matter what sign you are.
Shut up! That is so stupid.
Just saying. Forever Tyranny says, the day before my birthday. What does that make you? That makes you an Aries? March 9th? Right? Oh, no. That makes you a Pisces. Pisces. Vlog with Nominally. Thank you for being a member. Says trailer was underwhelming. Again, we have to remind you it's a trailer. All right. Doja says, I'm raising a Cancer male. Well, Doja, what's your sign? Make him a better person despite his sign. I kid. I mean, they say a Cancer is a perfect match for a Taurus. So then there's that. Okay. All right. Moving along. Let's talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. How would you guys rate part 2 of the Salt Lake City reunion? I will tell you this. The top of it, when we got to Mary's part, look, I'm sitting late at night because, we were live last night watching or talking about Young, Famous, and African. So by the time I settled down and I sat in bed to watch it, I'm sitting there like thinking something's in my eye, but no, I'm tearing up from watching this segment with Mary Cosby talking about Robert Jr. yet again. And then seeing Andy Cohen, because we rarely ever see Andy Cohen cry because we don't think he has a heart. But you see him get emotional. I'm just like, oh my God. For me, that segment made the reunion stellar. It made the reunion a 9 for me. I will say this, though. Part 1 and part 2, after having such a stellar season, it's kind of just okay for me. And usually the reunion makes you more interested. Like, oh yeah, it's not bad reunion. It's not a bad reunion, but it was like, it's just okay. Now, based off of part 1 and part 2, I don't remember what I rated it last week, but on an average for part 1 and part 2, I probably would rate both probably like a 7. A 7. All right. So at the top of this reunion, the Todd father and John get into it. It doesn't last really long. And then John asks, like, where's security? John is such a punk. But are we surprised? And again, I don't think the Todd father's tone was anything elevated. And Lisa does not have... Todd could talk about Lisa in the worst way. And I feel as if Lisa would be like, I love that. I think Todd cannot do any wrong in her brain. And it makes me wonder why. Is it because of the potential business? I don't get it. Because even, again, for those that don't know, the version that's on Peacock is different than the version that they played on Bravo. I noticed that because I watched the Bravo version versus the Peacock version today. Yeah, so there's elements that I'll be mentioning. I'm like, oh, I didn't see that. That's probably because I'm talking about the Bravo version, the Peacock version. I took my notes based off the Peacock version. So even at one particular point, they talk about Todd's comment about Vita Tequila. And she's like, Todd, I'm going to have to do like a tasting something for you. And he's like, I'm open to that. Okay. Okay. NASA says he's got money. That's why. There's something about that. But even if it was a woman that had money, I think Lisa probably sort of like bow down to whoever has the most. But there's just something about Todd. She always, no matter how many times he's shaded them, she's okay with it. And we're like, okay, fine. Okay. But at the top of this reunion, Angie K and Meredith get into it about the whole Sean gay rumors. And Meredith gets really upset because she's like, if you guys are not going to play that Monica vindicated me, basically, because Monica was talking out two sides of her face. One minute she was saying that it was Meredith that told her. The next minute she was saying it was the streets of Utah that were saying it. But Meredith gets so belligerent, even with Andy Cohen. She's like, if this is not going to be said, if they're not going to play what Monica said during the reunion, I'm leaving. To be honest with you, after watching part 2, I wouldn't have cared if she left. And I know we've had our moments with Meredith that I'm like, oh my gosh, Meredith can be iconic.
Turn or leave.
You know what I mean? Like there are moments, but these reunions remind me of how much of a non-factor she really is. But she goes back and forth with Angie K, just sort of trying to have the relevance of even Andy's just like, why is this such a big deal? Like, why are you fighting? And he's like, I'm agreeing with you. But she's like, if they're not going to resolve this, I'm leaving. Poor Seth is like standing up, sitting down, standing up. Are we leaving? Are we going? What's going on? We could see who wears the pants in that relationship. Like, are we going? Are we leaving? What's going on? So she gets really, really, really upset with Andy production. She's like, I'm leaving. Bye. Sean is like, Meredith, stay. Let's resolve it. Mary Cobbs is like, Meredith, you can't leave. Meredith's like, I am leaving. And I'm wondering to myself, are you really going to leave? Stop threatening to leave. Just go. Amina says, Meredith can leave.
Turn or leave.
Leave, Meredith. I don't know why she feels like she's so important. Exactly. Wait a second. Poppy says, Kempire, when Andy said that it was a waste of time, I dead gagged. What I didn't like, and I hated this for David Yanta from Behind the Velvet Rope, because they played the audio from the interview that he did with Sean, where this is where Meredith says, you said that I leveraged my son in order for something. But you did, and you have. We've said this the entire season. You definitely did that. You do use Brooks to justify some of what you were speculating about Sean and those gay rumors. But she's like, I did not do we need a vocabulary lesson? Do we know what leverage means? I was like, here it goes. I was like, what is going on right now? Scherzer says, I would have called the bluff. But as a producer, Andy does not want any of the women to leave. Me, personally, in real life, I would have called the bluff. If we were having an argument like this, I'm like, all right, bye. So they play the clip from Behind the Velvet Rope with David Yontef. And so you hear David Yontef ask the question, and then Andy was like, the question was very leading. It was, but sometimes in these interviews, you have to lead people because they won't say the things, okay? So Andy was just like, and I find it so interesting. I'm sure David feels a way that he refers to David Yontef as, that guy. How would you feel, Andy Cohen, if we were talking about you, we just kept on referring to you as that guy? Clearly, you know who it is. Clearly, you featured this person on your platform before. Why not just say, on the Behind the Velvet Rope podcast? Cite your sources. Come on. That guy. I felt like that's so dismissive and disrespectful for the people that help promote your show and keep your franchise alive. You could have at least said Behind the Velvet Rope podcast or something. Of course, legally, they said it on when they played the audio, but, that guy. And he was like, the question was quite leading. Well, as an interviewer, sometimes you have to lead people to take the horse to the water. Okay? Mo says, don't threaten us with a good time. Miss Esquire, thank you so much. Miss Esquire, this week you just mean Miss Esquire, we are not at the strip club right now. Thank you so much for the super chat, Miss Esquire. Miss Esquire says, vindication by Monica means as much as counseling by Dr. Gregory Chow from Married to Medicine. Yeah. And even Andy made a snarky remark about Monica not being the most credible. He didn't say it like that, but he basically said who they're arguing about. Okay. Ariana, thank you so much for the super chat. Ariana, hold on, Ariana, putting your super chat up. Ariana says, They showed a lot of unseen scenes. We could have had more episodes this season. Mary has me in tears, both happy and sad. Love her being clocked in. Yeah, especially if you watch I gotta cut my beard, y'all. Like my beard is like tickling my nose. Lord have mercy. There were a lot in the Peacock version of the unseen footage too. So for those that, I'm not telling you to go get Peacock. I'm just saying if you do have Peacock and you want to see that version, that's there. Okay. Foxy says Monica ain't coming back. I mean, the amount of times that they talked about her, I don't know. I could see in a world where she could come back, but do we need her to come back? You know how we felt last season? We were like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this without Monica? But I don't see the need for her coming back because I feel like we're just going to beat a dead horse with the things that we've already talked about, unless she's involved some shape or form in any new storyline. I don't think that needs to happen. Monica's not really running in these circles. Not their circles. She was running the Jen Shah circles for whatever reason. And G says Monica's done. She has no credibility. Yeah. All right. Moving along. So Angie is insistent that production agrees with her, says that, this is what Monica said. This enrages Meredith because Meredith is not understanding. So they do play both times where Monica said one thing and then she said another. So she's the one who backpedaled in regards to what she said originally. Look, at this particular point, what do we believe? Does it matter? Are we weaponizing someone being gay still on reality television? And the fact that we're still talking about this into another season, I feel as if Sean is more than willing to move on. And mind you, he's the one that has been the one, not suffering, but he's been the focus of this alleged rumor that he's saying that's not true. He's more than willing to move on, but Meredith wants to drag it out because she has nothing else going on as a storyline. Okay. Oh, Trish has a good idea. Trish says this: if Jen Shah comes back, because she's heard they removed more years off her sentence. Now they're saying Christmas of 2026. Trish says if Jen Shah comes back, then maybe bring Monica for a head-to-head battle. Will we even care then? Especially with the direction that Salt Lake City is going in. Will we care? I don't know. I'm at this particular point right now where I don't care. CT says, do we even care? I don't know. Miss Esquire says, can the people agree that insinuating that someone is queer when they are not and have not come out across all brands? Yeah. And mind you, the fact that this came out from someone that is younger, the older folks are sort of like, okay, they have that mindset. But this is coming from Monica, who skews younger in this group of women. The fact that she would bring this to camera and talk about this or speculate on this is another thing. Okay. Oh, gosh. Julie says Jen Shah will be released in September of 2025. God only knows. I hope not. They keep reducing her sentence, though. All right. So Meredith threatens to leave, and we said bye, but she doesn't leave. She sits down. They play what they need to play. They played the audio from Behind the Velvet Rope. Andy Cohen shades the Velvet Rope, says the question was quite leading. Okay. So they revisit John and Justin discussing what went down at the Mob Wives party where they physically got into it. Okay. But they seem like the husbands feel like they just want to move on. They don't want to sit there and talk about it. Okay. Hold on. Please hold. I want to play my little soundbite. I'm still learning some of these new ones that I've added. Where is it? Oh, here it is.
The rumors and nastiness about her.
Sorry. Okay. So John says that he was embarrassed for his second reaction. His intention wasn't he wanted to diffuse the situation between Whitney and Lisa. Lisa explains what she meant by saying that Sean, because they revisit the whole circle jerk thing. So she's like, and she's like, just the other day I learned her what even was. Okay. Fine, but she wanted to make an analogy. Poor Andy Cohen had to let her know what an analogy was. He was just like, you were making an analogy? She's like, yes, I was making an analogy. Okay. Whitney addresses the whole rumor that she brought up on the season finale, and she's just like, that was the worst rumor that I had said about your marriage and your relationship. No, it wasn't. I'm sure you've said a lot worse. You wanted to bring that to camera, which we appreciate, but Lisa and John deny having any sort of threesome. Here's the thing, though. It seems as if the swinging thing is a thing in Salt Lake City. They had a whole, you remember Mom Talk, and they had their whole reality show on Hulu. It seems to be a thing. But, Mormons don't want to talk about it because, they want to pretend like they're perfect. However, they're doing all these things and then they justify it, the whole soaking of it all. They come up with their like, oh, you didn't do anything. You're good. You're innocent. Okay. So Whitney says, I don't believe it, but that was like the worst thing that I said about you guys. I don't believe that. But she's like, I apologize. So then it leads to Angie bringing up Electra and her daughter. And she mentions that Electra was getting trolled on her own IG account where someone put in the comments, is your dad gay? And then Lisa and Meredith and Heather are like, you can't sit there and act all holier than thou as if you don't put things out there, because her whole narrative, Angie's whole narrative was, you guys just can't put things out there. They can affect our children. And it's like, you do that stuff all the time. And they started listing off the things that she said in the last couple of seasons of her being on the show. Okay, so they talk about that. Heather then addresses her thoughts on Bronwyn and Todd's relationship, because, as you know, Bronwyn on that boat revealed that Todd had an affair. At the time, she said it was more of an emotional affair. During the reunion, she was like, it wasn't really an emotional affair. Bronwyn, what is it? Bronwyn, you've come up. Remember part one, we called Bronwyn in a lie. Okay? This week, it wasn't an emotional affair. So what was it? She says that, he was talking inappropriate with someone. He says that he never watched, the Todd father never watched the episode. For those that think that Bronwyn doesn't hold weight in that relationship, I have to say in part 2 of the reunion, I felt as if Bronwyn does actually and is respected in her relationship with Todd. Because I didn't see a woman that is sort of like, cowering to Todd. We see that in the edit, but in the reunion, I was like, it seems as if she was in more control of what was happening there. Okay? At one particular point, when he gets emotional, she's like, you're okay. You're okay. So I can kind of see their dynamic. Is it perfect? Is it the dynamic of what you would want in your relationship? Maybe not, but it seems to work for them on some level. Okay. Doja says that, well, Todd never denied it. I mean, I think this should have been his moment to really explain what it was, but it was more so Bronwyn explaining what it was. And I'm just sort of like, so was it an emotional affair? She says that he was inappropriate on a text. Okay, so here's the thing. Bronwyn brought this up. We didn't bring this up. Bronwyn brought this up. So I need Bronwyn to explain clearly what it was. Because on the boat, you said it was one thing. Then you said it was more of an emotional affair. Now you're saying it was an inappropriate text. You also said on the boat. And Heather's there calling her out on her BS. She's like, you were saying something completely different. And then Meredith did not like the conversation, especially with Heather being a part of that conversation, alluding that Lisa and Meredith took the stance that they took because they've been involved in cheating. And Bronwyn was backpedaling on that. She's like, that's why I came to you guys the next day and says, my reaction and what I said in that scene, which she knew was going to be probably shared with the world. My reaction in that was after the boat and how I was feeling after the boat and not feeling supported. Dominique says, what's Todd's sign? Did we ever find that out? The Todd father's sign? Jerk? We like the Todd father. We're kidding. Are we? Guys, don't forget the Kempire After Dark live experience is returning to the Green Room 42 Friday, February 21st. Get your tickets today. There is also a live stream option for those that can't make it to the show, or you're international, or you're across the country, wherever it may be. Get your tickets today. More information on that will be available in the description. Okay. Right, Nash says, at this point, run the text. Let's be the judge. And that's why I feel like we're supposed to just trust your word. But Bronwyn, you've been so inconsistent in regards to what actually was said or what was actually done. 1 minute it's an emotional affair, next minute it's not. It's just a inappropriate text. Okay. Like Nash says, show me the text now. Let's decipher it for ourselves. She does reveal, though, remember, she got a new ring, 5 new diamonds, and 5 new promises. The Todd father, shared all the different promises. One of those promises was a more transparency. I mean, look, if you've been in a relationship a long time, even Meredith says that no marriage is perfect. Okay. And when you're with someone for that long, you have your ups and your downs. Okay. You like it, I love it. Bronwyn. Okay. They also show some unseen footage of Todd complimenting Heather because they talk about how Heather probably was triggered by Todd and how Todd is similar to her ex-husband. And then they show some unseen footage where Todd is complimenting Heather. She's like, you're a beautiful woman. You're very talented. You're very smart. So they show that on unseen footage, which, again, this is a reminder to us that editing can make someone seem one way, especially when we don't see context or when we don't see every aspect of that person. Based off the reunion, the Todd father looks like a big teddy bear. He looks like a big teddy bear. All right. They do ask Justin, Whitney's husband, why he didn't react when Seth called Whitney a biatch. So he's like, I had said earlier in that day, I had meditation and I said, we're not going to get involved in the drama. He's like, when I look back on it, I should have said more. Seth is weird. Seth is a weirdo. And I don't think that he really did apologize to Whitney. He was like, I said, I'm sorry. Did you? And why are you so aggressive with it now? Have you been drinking today? Because you try to blame the drinking. He's like, we've been drinking. It's since 7 a.m. and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, Seth. Seth is weird. He's always been weird. We've said this. We will say it till he's no longer on the show. Okay. So he says that they were drinking a lot, and he says it's also a term of endearment. If he sees John on the street, he's gonna be like, "What's up, biatch?" Look,
shut up. That is so stupid.
I don't believe any of that. I think he was all into the moment. I think he's inappropriate. I don't think he would dare speak that way to Meredith. I think he wants to be somewhat of a housewife, and that's why he was trying to have a moment with his theatrics. Just my thought. Okay, just my thought. What do you guys think? Okay. All right, let's move on because I really don't care about any of that stuff. Okay. So we already talked a little bit about Bronwyn talking about the affair. She downplays Todd's affair, denies it being an emotional affair. Heather, again, calls BS on that. They talk about what he did in regards to the 5 diamonds and the 5 new promises. Fine. Seth and Meredith. So I guess there's some speculation or interest in Seth and Meredith's marriage on social media, and some people speculated that Seth has a side chick in Ohio. Okay. But Meredith denies that they have any sort of open marriage. And she says that, first of all, Meredith kept a list of all the names that people have called her. I don't know if this is for just this season or for the last 5 seasons. So she reads off the list during the reunion, and it's just like, Meredith, I love how the cameraman really zoomed in on her list. She really had a list. She came in with a chip on her shoulder. More than Lisa Barlow, who everyone has been coming for the entire season. But I felt like Meredith came in with the biggest chip on her shoulder. So she denies that they have an open marriage. Todd defends them having a long-distance relationship because, some people have said some things about me and Bronwyn's relationship on how I have, side things in other cities. And he was like, I read some gossip rag talking about our relationship this week. And I said to self, Todd is reading the blogs? You wouldn't think he would have time to read the blogs, Mr. Palm Pilot. He's reading the blogs. Poppy, I thought the same thing, but I didn't say it about Seth. They're talking semantics, side chicks. Mm-hmm. Anyways. So he said, yeah, I was just reading one of the gossip rags, and they were talking about our relationship. And I said, Not the Todd Father reading the gossip rags. Which one, Todd Father? I know it wasn't the Shade Room. Come on. Asawi, I know you. Right? Which one was it? Was it realityt.com? Which one? We want to know. Which one were you reading? Was it the page 6? He's in the gossip rags. Okay, to Todd Father. All right, moving on from there. So, yeah, and Seth does not have a side chick in Ohio, allegedly. So, this segment, I knew they were going to talk about this in part 2, but I was just like, oh, okay. I did not expect to tear up every single time I watched it. When I watched it last night, when I watched it today, I said, why am I tearing up? Oh, because this is sad. Okay? And then Angie jumps in and she makes me cry even more. I'm like, Angie, damn you. And so Mary talks about why she and Robert Jr. decided to talk about his addiction. He was more than willing to do it. They said even if they helped one person, it was worth them doing it. She said they did not plan what they were going to share in this conversation, but they did talk about having the conversation on camera. She does say that Robert Jr. wanted to go to rehab and he stayed there for about 30 days. In regards to his life since leaving rehab, she does say that she wishes that he would not be around some of the people that he usually is around. She says he's spending more and more time at home and he's making new friends at, I'm guessing she said AA, but I think she meant NA. But unless he has a problem with alcohol too, I don't know. So she talks a little bit about that, but she says that he's doing a lot better. He posted the calling them sluts after the reunion. So maybe that will be a part of the storyline next season. Him going on social media and calling the women sluts from the 90s. Anyways. So Andy, digs a little bit further in regards to what was going on with Robert. They show Robert talking about it and talking about, feeling like unseasoned chicken. And that when he would, do drugs, it feels like it would add seasoning. Andy gets emotional when bringing up Robert referring to himself as a stain. And I know a lot of people were probably thinking, like, why did Andy get so emotional? I mean, we all were emotional watching the scene, but why was that particular part? And I had to think to myself, I mean, first of all, we have to remember that Andy Cohen is now a father. He has a different perspective than he probably would have had 10 years ago before he had his kids. But also, we have to remember that Andy Cohen is a gay man of a particular age who probably has seen a lot in his time in regards to discrimination. He's also a Jewish man. So there's a lot of things that he's seen. So feeling like a stain, especially as a gay man, I kind of understood why he probably was triggered by Robert Jr. saying that, because he probably has felt that way in his life. So he particularly, in regards to that statement that Robert Jr. said, he got really emotional. And we don't really see Andy Cohen. I can't remember the last time I saw Andy Cohen cry at a reunion. So he gets really emotional to that. Of course, Mary Cosby is very emotional, talking about that as well. Heather, I mean, the entire cast was emotional. Did anyone notice that Meredith did not shed a tear? Like, she looked stone cold. And look, Meredith did reach out to Mary Cosby, and Mary Cosby said her text was beautiful. And they showed a little bit of the text. You also remember that Meredith's family had their own issues in regards to a relative going through it and offered her nephew's help in helping Robert Jr. But during that moment, I was just like, because they kept on panning to Meredith. I'm like, everybody is like trying to hold back tears. Meredith's just sort of like stone cold face, like, I was like, oh, okay. But again, everyone reacts differently. Not everyone's going to cry during these situations. But Andy Cohen, who never really cries at this reunion, is crying. And Meredith is just nothing. Nothing. But okay. They do talk about Angie and Mary and their closeness and why. And, Angie was the person that Mary went to with this. And Angie, as you know, her mom died an alcoholic. And she says there was something that Mary said to her that she waited 43 years to hear. And she says, if your mother could do it all over again, I'm sure she would choose differently. The way I would have given the ugly cry if I was there hearing that for the first. I mean, that made me very emotional watching it from home, but to be there and to hear that, and now you understand why these two women became so close. They shared a lot of deep conversations. And Angie says, Mary just has a way of providing guidance, and this could be because she's the head of a church and she's very religious and all of that. Heather reacted to watching this with her daughters, and she said it opened up a conversation with them. And some of us might have forgotten, you may have forgotten, that we talked about addiction in the first season with Whitney and her father. And then her father disappeared seasons after that, and she has not had any communication with him since. So she is particularly triggered by this because she also watched it with her kids, and now her kids have a better understanding as to why they don't speak to their grandfather. I felt for Whitney. Whitney, between Angie and what she said about her mom and what the advice that Mary gave her, and then Whitney reminding us all, because some of us might have forgotten what she went through with her father, I was just sort of like, ooh. And you could tell Whitney was trying to hold it together at that end. And she did not want anyone to look at her. She did not want to make eye contact with anyone. But the minute she did, it just flowed. Nikki says Whitney was about to give the ugly cry. No, she went into the ugly cry. She was holding it, though. She was holding her best. Okay? RHOSLC says, because RHOSLC says that they glossed over Mary talking about her experience with racism growing up. I would have loved to hear more. I just love the fact that she brought that up, because I don't know if a lot of people know this. Mary lived in New York for a few years now. If you watch the reunion, you remember she talked about running into Andy Cohen at the gym. This is before they even knew each other like that for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, because she lived here in New York. She says in the reunion, the reason why she moved to New York was for Robert Jr., so that he could be around a variety of different types of people and a better education, because she remembers growing up being the only Black person in class. And when they would talk about slavery, everyone's turning around looking at her. Every week on this season of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I don't know why Mary wasn't able to do this before. She's always given us funny, iconic, shady moments. But the way she peeled back herself this season, she says it's really because she actually had a friend on this cast than she never had before, which led to a conversation about Meredith. But I told you, I never really believed that Mary and Meredith were that tight. I think they were friendly. I never thought they were tight at all. I still don't think they're tight. But Mary did say that she appreciated Meredith reaching out to her and sending her text. But she says the difference between her relationship with Angie is in Salt Lake City. I know it feels like Meredith lives in Salt Lake City, but she doesn't. She talked about her house, and she's like, I do rentals because I'm there only a few months out of the year. Okay.
So nasty.
And that's what happened.
So rude.
What? But that made a lot of sense to me when Mary said it. She's like, I have a different relationship with Angie because Angie is here year round with me. We're hanging out. We're doing things together. She's not doing that. She can't do that with Meredith because Meredith, when she's not filming, is not there. Which reminds me why Meredith, if Meredith was to leave the cast, I know we've had some iconic moments with Meredith. Don't get me wrong. Look. But she's not really engaged in this cast. When they're not filming, she's not there. So she's not really building on these friendships. And I don't believe that her and Lisa are friends like that anymore. Mama Ellie says I do Meredith a little too well. All I gotta do is pretend to be sleepy. Okay, that's all I gotta do. Be a little sleepy. But it just reminded me, like, Meredith is not there. Meredith is not fostering these relationships. Like, even with Bad Weather, with Heather and Whitney, and I know they're Johnny-come-latelys when it comes to being cousins, but you could tell that there's actually a fun friendship there. And I like seeing that more than seeing them fight. And I hope we get to see a little bit more of that in season 6. Winter says, exactly. Why it's time to let Meredith go? Let her keep thoughting in New York City, or bring it to Real Housewives of New York City. Do you want to see her on Real Housewives of New York City? She doesn't live in New York, though. I don't know if she has a place in New York. If she does, why not? I don't think she would fit in with this group, though. But maybe build the group around Meredith. No, Meredith is boring. Meredith is not giving us a full story. Yes, we get these iconic, drooling, slurring moments, but no, we can't build a show around Meredith. Queen says, where does Meredith stay when not in Salt Lake City? If New York, we don't want her here either. We don't want her there either. She spent some time in Europe. She also spent some time in California, dotting around. All right. Before we move on, I do want to drop the call link for our members first. Members, I'm going to drop the call link on the community tab, live chat. I will drop the call link for you guys as well. Don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts on how you would rate the Real Housewives of Atlanta trailer and how you would rate the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion. How would you guys in the live chat rate the Salt Lake City reunion? Okay, let me drop this for our members. Okay, call in link. All right. All right, members. Let's get to 450. I mean, not members. Live chat. Let's get to 450 likes and I'll drop the call link for you guys. We're almost there. Shout out to all of you that have already liked the video. We appreciate the support. Liking the video is easy and it's free and it's a great way of supporting the channel. Deborah says, Meredith to Bryn. Bryn.
10 or 8.
Oh, Daceline, that's a good point. Daceline says, so no time in Ohio with her husband? That wasn't one of the places that they've mentioned. Apparently, he comes home every weekend. I don't believe that. I wouldn't be surprised if Meredith and Seth get a divorce once she's no longer on Housewives. I don't believe this relationship. I believe that they did have a relationship before. Obviously, they had kids. They were married for a long time before this show. I just don't think that they're in that space anymore. Honestly, I'm surprised that they were ever in that space because he's so interesting. I would never picture that's the type of guy that she would be with. Right? Anyone else? Well, that's me. All right. So Angie shares her thoughts on everyone's praising Mary, and Mary even talks about Robert Sr. praising how she handled it on television. He complimented her, and she's like, he doesn't compliment me ever, which says more about that relationship. But we'll leave it alone. But he praised her for how she handled it on the show. Whitney talks about having this conversation with her kids and her father, and she says till this day she has not spoken to her father since season 1. We're on season 5. We're going on season 6. She has not spoken to her father. Where is her father? Remember, her father's the one with the weird. He was a hairdresser and he had the weird hair, but he also had addiction. And excuse me, it makes me wonder, like, is he okay? Where is he? That's sad. That really, really is sad. All right. Heather talks about being surprised seeing Mary be more open this season. And she also reveals that Mary, though they've had their ups and downs, Mary has provided counsel to Heather before as well. I noticed during the trip and the last few episodes, a bond and a love between Mary and Heather that I never saw before. And again, we're seeing a snapshot of their lives. Some of these folks are better friends than we see on the show. And we've seen that in other examples on other shows. Mary says she does give us an update. I don't know if they played this in the Bravo version. They do show the update to Mary's church. She says, they're not fully. Oh, I'm frozen. See, sometimes these things happen, and I had to switch cameras. I had to switch my cameras. Hold on. Ooh. All right. Let me switch this up. Hold on, y'all. Let me switch this. See, and mind you, this hasn't happened a hot second, but I don't know. I feel like it's happening more and more lately. Can you guys see me, hear me? All right, good. Allie says, it's giving peekaboo. I see you. All right. Let's get to our callers. If you remember the channel, we've posted the call-in link below on the community tab. Now I'm going to drop the call-in link for everyone here. Thank you, Missy. Missy says, live stream, people. Technical difficulties, but we're back. We're back for a hot second. I hate this camera though. This is not the best quality camera, but we will be strong. We made it through the entire recap without a technical issue, but okay. All right. Let me move on. But you can see our beautiful roses in the back. Look how lush they look. Don't they look lush? Okay. All right. Asata says, you are small. I should be bigger now. I switched it up. Okay. All right. Let me see where our callers are. All right. I've dropped the call link for our members, and I just dropped the call link for our live chat. Okay. Keep liking the video, guys. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Rita, thank you so much for the super chat. Rita, I love my Gucci bomb. Okay. Let me see if I can zoom this in just a little, just a tad. Oh, wait. Hold on. Please hold. Please hold. All right. Let's get to the calls. But I just want to remind you guys, the callers' opinions do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, our sponsors, etc., etc. All right. Rita says, I cannot stand Meredith and wish they had let her leave. I am excited to see your New York City show hosted by the amazing Brooke Ashley. I wonder what surprises you have in store for us. London was... Thank you, Rita. We're working on some stuff. Can't wait to... It's going to be so crazy to see Rita in New York, too, because I just saw her in London, and she lives in Germany. So none of y'all have excuses, okay? Come to the show, okay? Especially if you're in the tri-state area. Come to the shows. We're going to have a good time. All right. Let me get to the callers, and let me put up my disclaimer first. Hold on. Let me put up my disclaimer. Okay. Wow, we have a lot of people backstage, so... Everyone, please respect the timer so that we're able to get to everyone, okay? Winter's backstage. We're going to bring Winter up first. Winter, what did you want to share?
Not me being first. Oh, my God. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
So with the whole Mary segment, I was literally bawling my eyes out. Like, it was really deep and it was really touching. And coming from two parents that had an addiction growing up, and just being around a bunch of people that were addicted to drugs, it was really touching. I feel like she handled that really gracefully. And if you know anything about addiction, you have to understand that you can't force people into like getting clean or any type of rehabilitation. They have to be ready for that. And I really appreciated the way she handled her son. And you never want to turn your back on them because they need you no matter what. So it was really touching. Like, I was here crying like a baby.
Oh.
Yeah, it was deep. And then the whole situation, like with the podcaster, come on, y'all better put some respect on David Yontef.
Right.
Like, I'm like, that's like, you know, he's a top podcaster too. And then John, come on, John. Like, you could tell Lisa coached him, like, be tough, like, say something.
Yeah.
Because that's not his personality. You know, he don't want no conflict or whatever.
No.
Oh, let me tell you, side note, guess who added me on Instagram back from Love and Marriage? Ken. Remember, I was like, hey, Ken. Remember in the lot?
Wait.
Back. He was...
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm talking about Trisha's man. I added him on Instagram. I said, let me just add him. Not him adding me back and liking my photos and everything. I said, ooh. I said, I got to tell Kempire. And I'm going to see you tomorrow because I'm going to the Crappies. And I'm also going to see you at your show. So I get to see you twice this month.
Okay, Winter. I will see you not tomorrow, Saturday.
Yeah. Sorry, I got my days mixed up.
I'm like, I don't have enough time. Okay.
But I will see you from far.
Thank you, Winter.
All right, later.
Tea. Bye. All right, we're going to bring April up next. Damn, she brought some tea. April, what tea you got?
I look good.
I know that's right. What's going on?
So I really enjoyed this reunion. Part 2 was really slow. Like, in the words of Shawnee O'Neal, thank you for your services. That's how I feel about Meredith. Like, her tone is dry. Just everything about her is dry. And I really wish they would stop disrespecting Angie and Sean's marriage, because if the roles were reversed, yes, everybody has said like mean things, but it's just, there's just certain things that you don't say and you don't do. And what's Lisa's like boy toy, aka her husband? He couldn't even like swat a fly. So you don't scare Todd. And I think Todd father, even though he can be rough a little bit around the edges, I do think he does have a softer side. In my unpopular opinion, he did seem remorseful. And I will give Bronwyn grace because it is her first season and reunion. So hopefully she's learned and maybe he'll let his guard down a little bit. And I really love Mary's segment. And yeah, that's it. Have a great day, Kempire. I'm going to go back to work now.
April. Get back to work, April. Bye. All right. That was perfect timing. Hold on. I'm missing all your comments over here, y'all. Let me just swipe this back down. Okay, there we go. All right. We're going to bring up O'Shea next. Hold on. O'Shea, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. I noticed Meredith left out the word colonizer from her list of names that people call her. Miss, then you should add it there. Don't feel ashamed. But anyway, these people aside, I just want to say about the Atlanta trailer. I don't want to say that it's boring because I get that they had to balance a lot of things with trying to manage how much of Kenya they were going to show, how much of Phaedra they were going to show. Phaedra's face was the second face that they showed in the trailer, but yet she was nowhere else in the trailer. So
she came at the end of the season.
Yeah, yeah. They say she only came like in the last month or so, the last
2
few
weeks.
Oh, not even a month. Oh, okay. Yeah, but anyway, we must give them a chance, though. I'm sure the season will be interesting. It looks highly produced. So, I mean, and it does, but it does look good. They all look good. They're all dressed well. Fashion is very good. They are rich, me as well. So I'm excited. Maybe I'm just trying to hype myself up. But I'm excited to see them in any case.
You're trying to convince yourself, O'Shea.
I'm trying. But thanks so much.
Me too. Thanks, O'Shea. Bye. O'Shea, we mentioned you during our Young and Famous African recap. I know it was too late in South Africa, but we mentioned you. All right, Miss Bernice is backstage. Go Lions.
You know what? I love you and bless you. Okay.
It's okay. I know.
Yes, what I got to say about this show, Meredith doesn't show emotion, and that's not healthy. Because she keep everything. She's so controlling that she want to keep everything in. Because the only time she laughed is when he said he felt like unseasoned chicken. And then she realized she was laughing, and then she checked herself. She straightened back up.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. And when they was explaining their relationship, Mary and Angie, she was looking so intently at them. It was scary. Because she was looking like if she could get up and just like choke the heck out of both of them, she would. That's not healthy. And when I was crying for Mary and for Whitney, because even though your cousin, your ride or die is sitting across from you, did she get up and come over there and console her cousin?
No.
No, she didn't.
You brought up a
no,
very
she didn't. So that
point.
tells a lot. So, yeah. But other than that, I enjoyed it. It says a lot about the true relationship that's on there. The ones on the good side of the couch are closer than the ones on the bad side of the couch. That's all I got to say. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Miss Bernice. Bye. That was the quickest Miss Bernice got off of here. Well, Lord. All right. We have Ellie backstage. We're going to bring Ellie up next. Ellie, what did you want to share about RHOA or RHOSLC?
Oh, my mic was off. Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
Hi, everyone. I'm a Cancer, Kempire. What are you doing? I like you. What's going on? I'm just kidding. I get it. I'm also a Virgo rising and a Libra moon, so I get a little heated and then I calm down.
Oh.
Anyway, this week has been intense, between happy tears with Garcelle and her beach house to the sadness and the darkness of Roni, and then now this with Mary, and I'm in my luteal phase. My God, it's a lot. But I also want to go in and say the way that Andy gentle parented Meredith, like he literally had to like talk to her like like a toddler about to have a tantrum. He de-escalated perfectly. He should, I don't know, like work at a Montessori school. I'm just saying. The way that she got up and was like, I'm going to leave, but he brought it back in.
I didn't even notice
parenting.
that. I did not even notice
that. That's parenting. And gosh, I'm sure that there was a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to say. Atlanta seems like it's going to be okay. I'm going to watch this time. Haven't watched in years. And I guess that's it. Thank you for letting me do these lives with y'all, with everybody. I love the community, the way that I'm like, I'm going to get my laptop out for this one because I need to type.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ellie.
It's great. Bye, y'all.
Take care. All right. Wait, do I have something on my... Oh, I do. It's like fuzz. I know I see it in the camera. Okay, anyways. All right. We're going to bring up Miss Esquire next. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the latest episode, the reunion, part 2 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We also talked about the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 trailer that just dropped. Let's bring up Miss Esquire. Miss Esquire, what did you want to share?
Hello.
Hey.
You look great. I love this camera. You have
really?
your backup. Your backup is better than most people's first plan. So, there's that. But Portia and Friends, what do I think about Portia and Friends? I think that I don't think I'm gonna love it. I'm sorry, O'Shea. It was a lot of Portia and a lot of Shamia. And while they have always been the fun time girls, I don't know that I would anchor a show around them. So I'm just not sure that I'm very excited to see this version of RHOA. I'm also just not sure that they are keeping up with how Atlanta is changing. Like, we're still going to strip clubs and things like that. Like, that's not the Atlanta of now, honey. So I don't know. We'll see. On Salt Lake, I really feel like Bronwyn is setting up her Erica Jane moment for like 2 seasons from now, where she's going to say that a lot of the lies that she's telling right now were because she was trying to protect Todd. And, that was the reason why her answers didn't make any sense, is because they really weren't true, but she was trying to protect her marriage. Because what she's saying just doesn't make sense. Like, it really doesn't. About the jewelry, it doesn't make sense. About the cheating, it doesn't make sense. But I think it's a setup for a come up. So I'm here for it. I support women's wrongs and rights. So my only thing to Bronwyn would be like, give us less of that, please. Because it's just going to make your credibility on everything fall out. And just give us less of Todd, so he has to be less involved. And stick to your agreement with Todd, because I think the other thing is Todd and her had some agreements on things she wasn't going to talk about on camera. And then she talks about it on camera, and Todd don't watch the show. I'm pretty sure he don't watch except what she tell him to watch. And so he's finding out through the gossip rags, or the classifieds, whatever he reading in the year of our Lord 2024. He finding out the tea on his Palm Pilot. So I think she's got to also keep to the agreements you made with your husband, so you're not forced to tell us these ridiculous lies that don't make sense. Can I say one more thing? Mary Cosby. Let me tell you something. I'm not a big Mary Cosby fan, because I do think she did run a cult, and I want to hear what them people really had to say. But she's very lucky that her story went as, compassionately as it did this year. Else we'd be talking about her suing her church executives for $6 million. But maybe we'll scattle back over that to next season, because Mary ain't on my naughty list no more. But I'm still like, I'm clocking your tea with this church, and I still want to know about it. That's it.
You notice how Andy did ask about the church. I think that was his way of sort of like...
I want to know about this church. I really do. I want to know what those people's experience was. I want to know why you was on audio telling these people they were stingy and poor because they didn't give you enough for your birthday. I ain't forgot. Y'all might have forgot. Like, bless Robert Jr., bless him on his journey. You are a wonderful mother for how you supporting him. I still want to know about this money. This cult.
I haven't forgot, because I have the videos on YouTube to remind y'all.
Exactly. Okay, bye.
That's why I'm blocked, Miss Esquire. You just probably got me blocked on IG too.
Bye.
I don't care. Y'all know I don't care. I'm still going to talk. That's the thing. When your team know one, you could talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of whoever, okay? But she's right. We shall see. All right. JS is backstage. We're going to bring JS up next. JS, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta or Salt Lake City?
Hey, Kempire. Hi, everybody. I'm out of Texas. We're actually having some good weather today. But besides that, Meredith, the way that Meredith was looking the entire time really did strike like cold to me. And I feel like it just was that she miscalculated. I think a lot of women miscalculated the potential of a friendship that Mary could have. And that's why they're all so shocked at how she's being received and, how she's connecting so well with Angie. And when she said the reason why she's able to come out and be open now is because she found a friend. And I think if Jen Shah doesn't ever come back, I'd be so much happier because I feel like the ladies have grown from that. And it would just pull the show back into this really dark place.
Yeah.
And it would just, like you've said before, be rewarding bad behavior. I do want to know what's going on with Mary's church after this. Because if it was wrong for Jen Shah to steal from innocent people, then it's wrong for Mary to do the same thing if she really did have a cult.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's all I got. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, JS. Take care. Points are being made. Maybe this will be the storyline next season. Ashley, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta or Salt Lake City? Ashley, what were you beating up?
Kempire?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Listen, I'm trying to get my Haitian food. I'm trying to open the door.
Oh.
Okay. I'm being mad greedy right now, but okay. I want to be quick. ATL, you guys are declassing the show, in the words of Nene Leakes, okay? Those pictures that you put up, I haven't even watched the commercial yet, but those pictures that you put up were giving love and hip hop all day. I'm going to call a spade on Bronwyn. Bronwyn, listen, I don't think she's lying. I just think that she's backtracking. I think she's backtracking because she ended up sharing way too much. She wanted to get vulnerable with the girls, and she ended up spilling some tea that she shouldn't have spilled. And I think that's why she was backtracking in front of her husband, because her husband hasn't seen the show. Or hasn't seen that episode. So when Andy was asking specific questions, I think she was backtracking because she realized that, oh, shoot, like I shared way too much. And she was doing that originally for empathy. And then she ended up feeling like, okay, you know what? I kind of crossed the code that me and my husband, we agreed that we weren't going to talk about certain things. And then she overshared.
Yeah.
When it comes to Meredith, I'm sorry, but I love Meredith on the show. The reason I love Meredith is just because, like, I feel like she's an enigma. Listen, the way that she was giving Mary that death stare, Kempire, when she was getting Mary, I was crying.
Uh-oh, Ashley, I think we just lost you. See, that's what you get. Mary Cosby got you, Ashley. Mary Cosby got you. Now it says devices not connected. OMG, Ashley, this is what you get. Call back, Ashley. I'll let you finish that last thought. We're going to bring up Love Calm Peace next. Love Calm Peace, what did you want to share? Don't mess with Ashley. Don't mess with Mary Cosby. See what she just did to Ashley?
No, my comments are not even about Mary. It's okay. So, but she did a great job. I totally appreciate her sharing that, and her son. I know that's probably took a lot for her to just really expose on the show. And so I do appreciate that, because people tend to not want to have those kind of conversations. And those are the real conversations that we need. But I agree with Miss Esquire. Bronwyn seems terrified to speak in front of Todd. And she does do a lot of backpedaling, like stand on what you say and all of that with the jewelry and stuff. Like Bronwyn showed up in the beginning of the season for me. I liked her, but she just turned out to be what, unfortunately, she making me agree with Heather, like, you're a liar, you're fake. Real Housewives of Atlanta, it gave Coming to America, Thoughtland edition. And then Ashley from Potomac, her dress, she just looked like one of the streetwalkers from an early season of Law and Order SVU. And I love that show, but it was a miss. Their hair Kiana, the only one that really just ate, Wendy did, but everybody else, the hairstyle for me, no, it's a no.
Okay.
It was a no.
All right. Love, calm, peace. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. Let me just bring up Ashley for her last thoughts. What was that last thing you wanted to say, Ashley, about Mary Cosby? You're muted. She's probably in the Haitian store getting her food. Ashley, I'll come back to you. All right. G's backstage. You're going to bring up G next. G, what did you want to share?
Hello?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. G from Jersey calling in. This is my first time calling in. I have a lot to say. all about Salt Lake City.
You've got a minute.
2 bullet points long. I get through this. Okay. Meredith. I love Meredith. I don't understand the slander. That's my girl. She is more. Exactly. She's delusional, but in the best way possible. She makes me laugh every time. Bronwyn, she's a liar. She lies a lot. She's either a liar or she has a very interesting relationship with the truth, because she comes on here and spills her whole marriage and this and that, but then Todd's sitting behind her looking like, what did this talk about? When you say this? Like, you either are lying or you're not telling your husband the truth, or you're not briefing him on, hey, this is a reunion. We have to talk about this and this. So he's up there looking stupid. Next, with my other bullet points, Whitney really, I'm not really the biggest Whitney fan, but when Mary had her segment with Robert Jr., she really pulled at my heartstrings with that. And you can really see that her not talking to her father and since the first season really affected her. Oh no! Okay. One last thing. Mary gave Meredith grace, because when Andy asked her about their relationship and their friendship, she could have chewed Meredith up. But what she did was she gave her grace. She was like, I'm glad that she sent the text out, and I'm glad that we're working on a friendship. And when she told Angie that you need to work it out with Meredith because she's my friend, Angie better listen. She might not be her friend for too much longer. All right, bye, Kempire.
Bye, G. I think that she will remain Angie. I think Mary Cosby is far closer with Angie than she is with Meredith. So at the end of the day, if she had to choose, I think she will end up choosing Angie, but I don't think she'll have to choose. It will be interesting to see the friendship dynamics next season. I think Lisa and Whitney still will not see it for each other, which I think will cause a rift in Whitney's relationship with Heather, because Heather desperately wants to be friends with Lisa, which I find so ridiculous. It's just a flashback to her high school days. I want to see Bad Weather back together, united, having fun, because there's definitely a genuine love and blood relationship there. The relationship that Heather is trying to have with Lisa is so surface, because Lisa just does not have that capability. I don't know. I think Heather's trying to have both. I just don't know if you can, especially how dark it's gotten between Whitney and Lisa. All right. Let me get to the rest of the colors. We have Eli backstage. Eli, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, I just wanted to say, I'm low-key tired of people dragging Bronwyn so badly, because I get that she has some holes in her stories, okay, because I do, but at the end of the day, you got bobblehead sitting up there, and I'm talking about Heather, that she lied for a whole year about who punched her in the face. And we watch her, and her thinking that she's the narrator. So if Bobblehead can sit there and lie, Miss Bronwyn can sit there and lie. It's her first season, okay? And so I love her, and that's that. And then I also think that Meredith also lies. Her marriage. I mean, anyway. So then the other thing I was gonna say when it comes to Atlanta is giving the real thoughts of Atlanta. I'm sad because I was expecting, and you know what I'm thinking? I'm like, not the picture of Samia. I'm thinking that maybe like the season will be better. And I'm actually excited for Angela. I don't know, but I feel like apart from the cast, I feel like Angela will be good. And that shade that Shamia and Angela threw at each other, it was good shade. You know what I'm saying? It felt like Atlanta, but it's just like the picture is giving Basketball Wives. And someone was like, why does OC get water and Potomac get flowers and then they get a jungle gym? So it's like,
a jungle gym.
It's giving love and hip hop. And so, but I just hope the season's better than what we've seen. And I'm sorry, one last thing. And it's so true what you said about Kenya, because when you see Kenya come up on the screen, it's like this. I was like, oh my God, Kenya. So it's like, no matter how much we want to drag her, she is a big part of, RHOA. And I feel like without her, the show will suffer a bit. And so we'll see what happens. I'm just sad the way she went out. So yeah.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, Eli, for calling in. Look, here's the thing. I'm never going to deny, because we've covered and talked about Kenya and what she did in jeopardizing her own job. I think the problem, though, is that we have a history with Kenya. We know Kenya. We like Kenya. We hate to love Kenya sometimes. And when you see her come up on the screen, she's such an integral part of Real Housewives of Atlanta's history and success that when you see her, you're like, oh, Kenya. But then you're reminded when we see the rest of the season, like, oh, Kenya. Why would you do this to yourself? Cece, thank you so much for the super chat. Cece says, part of me wants Meredith to leave. And the other part wants her to stay if they end up bringing Brittany back. You are vile. Do I have that? Wait. Oh, yes.
You are vile. You're recording us?
She recorded it.
And then you hear Mary Cosby in the back. She recorded it. Sidebar, Mary Cosby said that Bronwyn was a fan favorite, which goes against what we think of Mary Cosby being not fully understanding what she's a part of. And I was like, oh, Mary Cosby knows full well what a fan favorite is. And she's watching what the people are saying. Okay? Thank you, Cece, for the super chat. We appreciate the support. And thank you for being a member, Cece. Shout out to all of our members in the live chat. And of course, shout out to our King's Guards. Thank you, Rita, for another super chat. Rita says, catching 2 Kempire lives as a gift to myself because of my cancer journey, and watching Kempire was the highlight of my days during chemo. Thank you, Rita. Thank you, and this beautiful community. Thank you so much, Rita. Oh. And Rita's living her best life. She said, I'm coming to New York. Okay, I know that's right. We're going to have a good time. I'm working on some stuff. Okay, anyways, focus. Okay. All right. Last but definitely not least, we're going to bring Jamina up next. Jamina, what did you want to share in regards to Real Housewives of Atlanta or even Salt Lake City?
Okay, can you hear me, Kempire?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I'm ready and I'm not anxious this time. Quite a few thoughts. Okay, so I'm going to start. I've got notes, guys. This is how serious I am about this.
Where are you calling from?
Okay. South Africa.
Okay.
Joburg.
Okay.
Hey. See you in 2026.
2025?
Anyway.
What do you mean 2026?
Oh, it's happened. Look, you were hesitant the last time, so I was like, let's get crazy.
I mean, it takes work, and we're trying.
I got you. Either way, I'm going to be there.
Okay. I love it. Okay.
All right. So RHOA, the trailer's not giving. I agree with the past few callers. Like, it's giving love and hip hop. Someone on Twitter said, take Portia and friends to Zeus TV.
Well, damn, not Zeus.
And I have to agree. And I'm only going to watch till Kenya's done. Like, I'm not doing it. It does not look good. It's not giving what it's supposed to be giving. It's just not there. And I'd like to remind everyone, do you guys remember Ultimate Girls Trip where Portia was on? I didn't like that side of her. And that's where I fell off. I was like, this is the girl Kenya's been talking about. And I finally see her. And I was like, I'm done. I'm good. And then Salt Lake City. Ooh, Angie fans, y'all don't come for me. But Angie's a bit performative, guys. There's
a bit.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Like, even when she was justifying why we seeing this side of Mary, she was like, everybody wanted to see this. And I like what Heather said, that no, like, everybody just wanted to see someone be honest about addiction, you know? Okay, yeah, but that's basically like, oh, young Black and African guys, no, I'll call back another time to just say no, guys. That show's trash. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Jamina. Take care. Yes, guys, we were live last night recapping the final episodes 4 through 8 of Young, Famous, and African. We also reacted to the news about Annie and her estranged husband, Tubaba, Innocence, Two-Face. I mean, I would never stay married to a man named Two-Face, but that's just me. Anyways, thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you to everyone that was a part of our conversation. Thank you to everyone that sent in super chats, Venmos, Cash Apps, PayPals, all of that. We appreciate it. Bianca, thank you so much for the super chat. Bianca says, please add Mary saying, get her. Wait, but this, I can't do, wait.
You are vile. You're recording us?
She recorded it.
Wait, oh no. Where is it? I thought I had it. Oh, maybe I don't. Damn. You're right. Get her. Because it's so small, though, when she says it. So it's not going to be the best soundbite. But you and I all remember when Mary heard it. Mary was like, get her. I was like, what is going on? All right. Anyways, guys, we appreciate you all being here. Thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our subscribers. And, of course, thank you to everyone watching in the bushes. We appreciate you as well. Some of you have to watch in the bushes because you're at work. I understand. We are going to continue to pray for our friends and family affected by the plane crash that happened yesterday in Washington, D.C. We appreciate all of you continuing to pray and send your love to those affected by it. Thank you again for all of you for being here. I will see you all in the next one. I don't know what the next one will be. But as you know, here on the channel, we don't just talk about Real Housewives. We talk about everything in pop culture. So be sure to check out some of the things that you missed this week, including our Tuesday takeover and us unpacking that 2 a.m. call from Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. All right. Bye, y'all. See you guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Podcast. As always, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for everything Kempire Radio, head on over to KempireRadio.com.